WJTS News. Good evening, I'm Charlotte Olson. Monday afternoon, the DuBois County Council unanimously approved two separate requests of $20,000 in general staff overtime and also $20,000 of jail staff overtime by the DuBois County Sheriff, Donnie Lampert. Lampert says that accompanied by DuBois County Security Center Commander Randy Schnell, who also attested to having about 82 inmates, and that they require the need of a full functioning staff. The issue is in regards to when a staff member or several are unable to be present due to injury, illness, or whatnot. Both Lampert and Schnell say they need to pay other staff overtime to fill in, and it is very crucial. Now, certain scenarios were signaled out, such as having to deal with unforeseen actions from inmates who might take advantage of staff that's not at high capacity. Councilman Jerry Hunfield says that he acknowledges that the sheriff is responsible for his own staff and inmates, and that the council's responsibility is to support the sheriff's department in any way that they can. Council President Greg Kendall added that he also did not want to risk any of the department's staff members to be in any danger of getting hurt in an attempt to stay within any financial means. Lampert thanked the council for approving the overtime staffing request on behalf of the inmates and his staff. In other business, on Monday, the council approved the employment classification of DuBois County Emergency Management Director Tammy Humpert to keep her job at ex-Kemp. Before any decision was made, the council discussed with the public and themselves regarding the consistency and fairness making the change and how it would be for the county and other department heads. Councilman Greg Grylock started out by acknowledging Humpert's role as significant and also said that she is an exemplary leader. Grylock says that Humpert's leadership and work is not in question and that should be considered as a council is that they agree that there would be no raises at the recent budget meeting and that they should remain with their integrity and consistency. County Commissioner Elmer Bromas told the council that Humpert's position is from an emergency category and that it should be taken into account. Kendall agreed that Humpert's role with the county falls into the leadership category. Humpert also spoke by stating that she is not speaking about the money and that she equates the consideration of being an exempt employee to being shown consistency, and it also means recognition in her leadership role and shows respect. The council approved the exempt position classification with the exemption of looking into other positions and providing clarity among the council and also other county departments. The Jasper Police Department would like to remind the public that golf carts are not allowed to be operated on city streets. Now, although there is some confusion between golf carts and low-speed vehicles, which appear very similar in appearance, police say that only vehicles that are properly licensed with licensed operators are allowed to operate on city streets. In a release, Assistant Police Chief Nathan Schmidt says that the police department has recently been contacted by numerous citizens with regards to golf cart operation on public streets, especially in the Brescher subdivision on the city's far west side. Schmidt says that the big concern for the police department are reports of young children operating these golf carts. Young operators not familiar with the rules of the road pose a great danger to the operators as well as the occupants. Also, golf carts are not manufactured with required safety equipment to reduce injury if they are involved in a crash. The police department is requesting the public's cooperation to cease the use of golf carts on city streets. In order to prevent any type of tragedy to occur, the police department will be increasing enforcement in regards to golf carts operating on city streets. Penalties may include a city ordinance violation, a state statute violation including citing adults if they allow a violation to occur, and also impoundment of the golf cart. Schmidt says that the police department would like to resolve this issue without any enforcement action, but in an attempt to prevent injury or possibly a fatality, they feel that it's imperative that they address this issue immediately. An impaired driver was jailed on operating while intoxicated charges Sunday after he caused an Indiana State Trooper to drive off the road in order to avoid a crash. Shortly after 2:30 p.m. Sunday, a trooper who had just participated in the Huntingburg Herbstfest parade and was patrolling South Cherry Street in Huntingburg observed a tan pickup truck traveling northbound in the southbound lane. The trooper was forced to drive off the side of the road and into a yard to avoid being struck. After turning around, the trooper was finally able to stop the truck, which was driven by 45-year-old Jeffrey Greenwell of Huntingburg, and it was driven on Cherry Ridge Road. Through the course of the investigation, it was determined that Greenwell had a blood alcohol content of 0.156%. He was placed into custody and lodged in the DuBois County Security Center. 2 people from the state of Virginia were killed in a 2-vehicle crash on Monday evening along Interstate 64 near Ferdinand. Indiana State Police say that shortly before 10 p.m., a car driven by 19-year-old Zachary Henry of Kentucky was traveling east on I-64 when police say that Henry passed the 64.5-mile marker about a mile and a half east of Ferdinand. He unexpectedly drove upon an SUV that was stopped in the driving lane of the interstate. Unable to stop or avoid the SUV, police say that Henry crashed into the rear of the vehicle, pushing it down an embankment and onto its roof. Police say that the driver and passenger in the SUV, both hailing from Virginia, were pronounced dead by the Spencer County coroner. The coroner's office is currently working to identify the victims and also notify their families. They say Henry suffered minor injuries in the crash, and the accident remains under investigation by Indiana State Police crash reconstructionists. State Police were assisted at the scene by the Ferdinand Police and also Spencer County Sheriff's Department. They were also assisted by the Ferdinand and St. Meinrad Fire Departments, Lifeline Air Ambulances, and also Memorial Hospital EMS. This past Saturday and Sunday at the Jasper Armory, the 1st Battalion 151st Infantry hosted the Remembering Our Fallen Hoosiers Memorial Wall and also a 5K run. Overseeing the 5K was retired Lance Corporal Tina Moriarty of the Southern Indiana Leathernecks of the Marine Corps League, who was also responsible for organizing and bringing the traveling memorial to Jasper. The 5K was started with the firing of a howitzer artillery gun, and behind the howitzer sat Captain Chip Mitchell and his youngest son, Gabe. Gabe had the honor of pulling the lever to set off the gun and also put the 5K in motion. Captain Mitchell told 18 WJTS that Gabe had gotten up at 6 a.m. with his father in anticipation for firing the artillery later that morning. Captain Adam Balbach oversaw around 40 National Guardsmen that helped during the event, along the award ceremony, and also planned activities for the day. These activities included bouncy houses, a display of a .50 cal machine gun, and also military-equipped Humvee and Jasper police cars and fire trucks. Kids were able to experience all of the items on display, ask questions, and also just walk around and be curious. The awards for the 5K were in spirit with the National Guard, and they were emptied shell casings of a dog tag styled chain. First place received a .50 cal casing, second place was a .30-06 artillery casing, and for the third place there was a .45 caliber bullet casing. The winner of the 5K was Nick Keener of Newburgh, Indiana. Keener was enjoying the day with his family and had some grateful and inspirational words after the race completed.
I think coming here to honor those brave citizens who provide the ultimate sacrifice for our great country, and it's important to show our children that there are, brave citizens who will do that and give everything for this country.
Remembering Our Fallen Hoosiers Memorial Wall is a traveling exhibit that was brought to the area in a joint effort between individual veteran organizations and also the DuBois County Veterans Council. The wall honors Indiana servicemen and women who died defending America in the War on Terror. The memorial wall has close ties to the community in that it holds 2 DuBois County Marines who were lost in battle, Corporal Eric R. Leakin in 2006 and Lance Corporal Alec Trawiski in 2012. Leakin's parents were in attendance on Saturday with Eric's father, Jake, speaking to 18 WJTS on behalf of his son's memory. Mr. Leakin expressed his gratitude that him and his wife share towards all the veteran organizations involved with bringing the memorial to Jasper, especially the Veterans Council. Mr. Leakin said that the memory of his son is always on his mind and that being able to come to the armory and just be surrounded by the soldiers allows him a small amount of place in remembering Eric. Mr. Leakin shared that his thoughts go out to the Trawiski family as well as knowing the loss that they have also suffered. During the time, Mr. Leakin graciously spent time with our 18 WJTS news reporter Joy Holt, and he asked if the station could share a story of the dedication of General Robert Neller, Eric's commanding officer, when he was killed in action. Mr. Leakin shared that General Neller, the current 37th Commandant of U.S. Marine Corps, has recently visited his son's grave about 2 weeks ago, and that Neller has kept in contact with him and his wife over the past 10 years since Eric's death. Mr. Leakin wanted to express that he has been very touched by the unending commitment General Neller has had to the memory of his son and all the Marines. Mr. Leakin and his wife are grateful to the community in which their son grew up and to all the veterans and the organizations that keep the memory and sacrifice of the fallen soldiers alive. They also note that to all of those who knew these young men from DuBois County, they are grateful. Make sure to keep it right here because up next we'll take a look at your weather summary.